Hi everybody. I just wanted to make a quick video to walk you through some of the stuff on how to work Edpuzzle. So first thing you have to do is create an account. Obviously use your school email to create that account. It'll make things easier over time. And once you've logged in, it should look something like this. It may look a little bit different because I've been using it for a while. So I'm going to have a lot of different appearance than you. But the first thing that you're going to want to do is go up here in the upper right to what says My Classes. And if you go over there, you shouldn't have anything down this left column over here. But what you should have down here is add a new class. So I think the most important thing that we need to start with is make sure your kids are set up in Google Classroom before you work with Edpuzzle. Under normal circumstances, that's not necessary. But in this context, since we're going to be trying to get the kids to do so many new things at once and create so many new classroom norms, the fewer things you have to have them think about, the better. So if you get them to sign up for Google Classroom, what you can do is you can add a new class and see how it says Google Classroom here? You just click on that and it'll ask you to choose from one of your Google Classrooms. Now, obviously, all mine are chosen except for Mr. Hatton's Club. But once you choose it, it'll just import any student who already is in your Google Classroom. And then all you have to do is just let them use their Google Classroom login to get into Edpuzzle. And that simplification, as opposed to having to have them have multiple sign-ins and multiple logins, just having one that works in both places is very important. So the second thing I wanted to talk about is mostly what I imagine that we'll be doing during this crisis education sequence, and that's the idea of finding videos. So you want to give your students a video to watch. So the first thing you do is you go up here in the upper right-hand side near My Classes where it says Content. And if you click on Content, what you will find first is videos that are being used, played with, viewed by other students in this classroom, in this school. Okay. And you can see over here in the content, it's got home, curriculum, RMHS, and my content. What you really want to do is go down here to popular channels. Now, if you search YouTube, because you have some great YouTube video that you like to show, for instance, I'll type in Bozeman because his biology videos are pretty standard fare. This is actually just the YouTube video. All right, there's nothing been added to it. It's just the video. And so if you want to click a blank video, you just select it, right? And you can actually select multiples. Down here it says Edit, Copy, Unselect. So what you would do is you would do Copy. And then over here, there's a little thing that says Edpuzzle copied to your content. You would, well, now you're going to go to my content because that vanished. And see how it, whoops. See how this is the video right here that I copied? Now, if I click on the video, this is the video itself, okay? Over here, on the right side, you have Assign, Edit, Duplicate, Delete. So one of the real strengths in Edpuzzle is it will tell you if the students have watched it, which is the most important thing. But it also gives you the opportunity to add things into the video, and that's where the edit part is very important. So what you have done here is the bar, the sequence of the video, and up here you have options. You can cut the video, you can add voiceover, or you can add questions. Cutting the video lets you shorten it at the beginning or the end, so if you have a video that's too long, you can change it. VoiceOver allows you to record your own voice over the video, which can be helpful if you want to clarify something, if you want to add something specific, if you want to go a little more in depth at a point than the video did not. Questions is the thing that I use most often. And what happens is you can add multiple choice questions, open-ended questions, or notes. A note is basically just like the voiceover where you're adding some sort of complementary piece of information to the video, but instead of recording your voice, you're just typing something in. Multiple choice questions, which I clicked on, what you do is you would put your question in here, and then you can add answers. So there's always two answers. This green check mark right here is to let you know which answer is the correct answer. You can have more than one answer with the green check mark. You can add other answer choices, all right, as many as you would like. I generally do 3, maybe 4. Occasionally there'll be 2. And then once you're done, you hit save. So let's do, this is a test question. Yes, this is the correct answer. No, this is wrong. And then what you do is you hit save, and it will show you. Oh, it didn't show you. So see down here how there's a little circle? Well, that's letting you know that you have inserted a question there. So if I were to play the video, there's my question, right? And it actually is showing me what the correct answer is, but it's not going to show the students. And it generally randomizes the answers, so be careful about doing all of the above. And then you continue, the video plays. I'm actually going to fast forward a little bit. Right, so here we've got a question. This is about, this is probably an evolution video. I didn't even look at the title. So I'm going to put another multiple choice question in here, and I'm just going to do this. And I will save this question again. And what you will notice is now there is a second little dot. And again, I have my question here, and you can see the green arrow is showing me what the right answer is. If I look at the question and I see that there's something wrong, I can go here and edit it, or I can go here and delete it. Okay? Now, if I want to add an open-ended question, you just type the answer here. I'm going to need you to think hard about what your overall goal is. I use the questions in the videos as formative assessment insofar as I basically put the questions there so that I force the students to think about something important that they just saw in the video. When I started doing this, they were open-ended questions, but the problem was I wasn't able to grade them fast enough so that the kids would get useful feedback. And so I've switched all my videos to multiple choice questions because that way the kids get immediate feedback as to whether they saw the right thing or not. Okay, but it is certainly possible to use open-ended questions, and I really just need you to think about what your goal is with having them watch the video. And if it is to get them to write about something that they just saw, an open-ended question is a great option for that. When it comes to notes, this is just you typing in something. I remember I had to do a video about evolution, and there was some interesting stuff about gender roles in nature. And so I put a note at the end just to make sure that we clarified how that fit in terms of the way we talk about those things now. So this also could be an opportunity for you to really add your own aspect to some video or increase some depth as to what was said in the video. But those are your options for adding questions, and I think that really is the strongest tool. Once you're done, up in the right-hand corner, you hit Finish, and now here's the video that I just edited. You can see my only question is down here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Assign, and it brings up these options to the left with all my classes, and I would just check off which classes I would like to assign it to. Up here, I do the start date, which is generally the date you make the video, but you can start it whenever you would like. And then you do a due date. So the start date is the 16th. I could do a due date as May 9th. And so the students have all of this time that's blocked down in blue to complete the assignment. Down here, if you want to set a time that the assignment must be completed by, that is an option as well. You have to hit save. Prevent skipping basically just makes the students watch the entire video. They can't just skip to question. Turn on closed captions. That is an interesting option. I do believe that closed captioning can be very helpful for several special education needs because the text is there. It reinforces what's being said. If a student has a hearing difficulty or a focus difficulty, any of those things could be helpful. But that's an option that I want you to consider. And then finally, post on Google Classroom. I don't do this, but my students have the habit of going to this website. So if I were you and you're starting all this stuff new, you're using Google Classroom for the first time, you're using this for the first time, I would really recommend that you do that so that the students know they get other notifications that it's there, because obviously we all realize the more ways that the students see what they have to do, the more likely they are to remember. And I understand right now all the notifications they're going to be getting can be overwhelming, so you could make that decision on your own. Once you're all done, you just click Assign. I'll do it even though I don't want to. And then it takes you to one of the classes. You can see all of the students in the class and their status for whether or not they have watched the video. So now I'm going to go back up here to my classes. I'm going to take a look at the classes. So the one that's highlighted blue is the one we're in. So you can see my B Block Honors Bio. And here's the test video I just did, right? So I'm going to click on that. And I'm actually going to delete it so my students don't think they have another video to watch. And then I'm going to go to my C Block Honors Biology. I'm going to find that. And I am going to delete it so my students don't know that they have another video to watch. Oh boy. So if you look up here, if you don't give your videos a due date, they show up in this column. If you give them a due date, they show up in this column, and the due date is by time. So this is my AP Biology class. You can see that all my videos, my current videos, have a due date of April 30th. Over here, you can see the number of students that have currently turned it in, meaning that they have completed it. If I look at the video itself, I can look down at each student to see who has turned it in. The green bar is complete. Let me show you one of my older videos so that you can see. Here we go. So let's do this. So this video, I don't really know who I want to pick. I guess we'll just do this, right? So this, you could see the score on the multiple choice, how much of the video they watched, which correct answers. Down here, you can see how many times they watched each section. You could see which question they got right and wrong. So there's a lot of, you can even see how much time they spent on it. So there's a lot of information that you can find in the video about what the students are doing, if that is something that you want to use in terms of how to assess them for this. So in terms of the content, I want to go back there real quick. I showed you about YouTube, Khan Academy, National Geographic, TED Talks. Any of these, if you search for something, you will find the video in its original form from that website. But if you click on the Edpuzzle option and you search for the videos again, so I'll just type in Bozeman again. And what you could see here is, see how it says 10 and it has that little, looks like the GPS mark on a map? That's how many questions have been added to that video. So this video right here, instead of just being the plain video, is actually an assignment that someone else created. In fact, you can see my assignment right here. Okay, so if you wanted to find a video that was already made and already had questions in it, you want to search in the Edpuzzle section. And you can go down, you'll find all kinds of options, all kinds of videos. People have made, there's a ton of stuff that you can find that could be useful. The last thing I want to talk about in terms of functionality is the gradebook. So if you go to the gradebook, sorry, that's an empty class. Up here on the left-hand side, you've got all your classes, right? So let's do this because that's a class that's already here. Let's do this one. All right. So what you could see is across the top, it has all the videos that they've had to watch. Now, my current videos don't have any questions because we're in this crisis education model. And so all you see is this green bar to show that the video has been completed. But if the video did have questions in it, there would be a number in the gray box, and that would show you their score. You could see down here the total time each student spent watching the video. And you can set the due dates for when you want to see assignments from. Right, so right now it's looking at assignments from March 17th to today, but I could actually back it up to March 1st or back it up to February. All right, so I think that's a quick and dirty how do you do Edpuzzle. I do want to point one other thing out about the content. In a perfect world, you make your own videos because then you know exactly what's in them and the students feel that connection to you still. Obviously, this isn't a perfect situation. The second level of good pedagogy in terms of flipped classroom is to find videos and make sure you watch them all the way through, and in this format to insert your own questions or your own notes or your own audio recording over it. That also might not be practical. So you might want to search the Edpuzzle and find someone else's video. Just make sure that you watch the video all the way through and make sure that you've looked at the questions that are there so that you know that they fit your criteria for what you wanted to accomplish. All right. Hope this was helpful.